Welcome to Opel GT Power. For this week of Opel GT How To, we're going to remove the instrument cluster and the dash and do some repairs on it and show you how to get it back in the car. This will probably be a multi-part video due to the complexity of this procedure and the amount of time it will require. Let's begin. Alright, so first things first, to get the instrument cluster out, you're going to have to drop your steering column. So that's the easiest part of this whole ordeal. There's just 4 bolts down here. You can see all of mine are yellow zinc coated. So what you're going to want to do is pay attention to which one of these bolts has the ground strap on it. There's usually one bolt on here that has a ground wire on it. That's mine there. So just keep track of that ground wire. Remember, it goes back onto the steering column. Also, in the front here, if nobody has dropped this column before, you might have what are called shear bolts, and they'll just look like like a rounded bolt head here. And if that's the case, then you're going to have to drill those out or make a slot in them and turn them with a screwdriver. Kind of a pain in the butt, but hopefully yours will just have hex heads like that. So, I'm going to take my socket. So I'm just going to unscrew all 4 of these bolts and the column will drop. 4 bolts out now, put them in my magnet tray. And so now I'm going to lower this little metal plate right here. And that, let's see. There we go. And just pull down the steering wheel and she pops free. The next step is to take a Phillips head screwdriver, and depending on the year that your dash is, the year your car is, you'll have a different amount of screws here. Mine is a early 1970, so I only have 2 screws. Some of the later models have 4 or 6, I believe. So same procedure, just unscrew them, no big deal. Okay, once you get those 2 screws out, next you're going to want to take off this little flap here. It's kind of hard to see with the steering column dropped, but there's 2 Phillips screws that holds that on, and behind it is a nut we have to get off. So I'm going to unscrew that real quick. Okay, so I got that off. There it is right there. So now inside here you'll see that's how you access your flasher relay and stuff like that. You can see barely in there that I have a flathead screw. That should be a hex nut, but it helps hold the dash or the instrument cluster into the car. So I'm gonna get me a flathead screwdriver and remove that. Okay, the flathead screw on that side has been removed. Now this side, I already checked this side and mine is missing, but there would be a bolt directly inside of that hole there. There's usually this plug right here, and this thing can be a real pain to get off without damage. As you can see in the past, both I and the previous owner have damaged this. So be very careful with this. I've tried using a plastic trim tool on it numerous times, and I can't get it off with anything but a screwdriver, but try a plastic trim tool first so you don't do any damage, and hopefully that'll work. But yeah, you'll just unscrew little bolts inside of there that will be obvious if yours has it in there. So we've gotten almost all the bolts out, but there's one more part that we can't forget, and it's a very easy one to miss. So if you get in here, so there's my fuse box just to get you oriented, and then if we turn around, there's the vents. See right there, where in the very center of the picture is a little nut. That is also securing the instrument cluster to the dash. If you don't take that off, you're going to have a hell of a time getting this dash out. So you're going to have to reach your hand in here, and there's like no room to get to it. And if you're lucky, you'll be able to unscrew that. If not, you'll have to get kind of like a stubby screwdriver with that size hex attachment on it, and I think you will be able to get that. Helpful to show you what we did. This is my spare instrument cluster. So those 2 nuts that we removed on the bottom, this is where they connect to. Right here and here. So that holds this into the dash piece. So next thing we're going to need to do is take off these connectors off of the fuse box. These are all the wires that run to the fuse box and to the instrument cluster. So Opel was very nice and put these all in one batch for us, where we don't have to go search for wires to take off the fuse box. So we're gonna go down here under the fuse box and take out all of those plugs. Okay, so my camera wasn't on when I was just filming, so I was showing how to pull out these plugs here. So they're just like Legos. You don't have to grab these ears. The ears right here are what actually hold the other side of the plug into the fuse box. So all you do to put these in or take these out is you just wiggle it softly. I put my thumb on this on the little ears that go into the fuse box, just to kind of get a little bit of force on there. These are very fragile, so you need to be gentle though. So let's see, I'll remove this white one here. I haven't got it yet. So just, you can see my hands wiggling, and there it goes, it comes out. The last one is a black one, and the good news is the fuse box is color coded even after you get these out, so you will be able to see where they go. So don't worry too much about that. Okay, so that's all of the connectors, except for we need to get the single wire that hooks up to the lights. And that is this guy right here. So we need to find that under the dash and unhook that. It's a gray wire with green stripes, and it just has a single connector on it. Okay, so I was not able to find this wire under my dash. Maybe the early model doesn't have that. I'm gonna just have to pay careful attention when I'm removing the dash, and if something's snagging, I need to look and see if there's a wire pulling, because we definitely don't want to pull out the fuse box or something. So I'm just gonna start gently trying to pull this out all around. It's going to take some effort, but you don't want to pull on this. If you notice, it'll start bowing pretty much immediately. So you're going to have to look in there and see what's getting snagged. Try lifting, try pushing down, try going to the side. You're going to have to just kind of make your own way to get this out. So I'm going to go off camera for a minute and try and figure out what's holding it so hard over here on the left side. Okay, so here's another trick to prevent damage to the cluster itself. So pulling on this plastic is a no-no. So I figured that out pretty early on, that I didn't really want to break this. So what you can do is reach behind here and push towards yourself, or pull towards yourself from the gauges themselves. The gauges are a little bit more solidly mounted, except for my speedometer that you see is hanging out on its own over there, which is one of the reasons I'm taking this out. So kind of do the reach around on the speedometer and the tachometer gauges, and you might be able to get some more purchase and pull it out a little bit better without doing any damage. So I'm filming this after the fact. I wanted to put this in the right spot. If you can see that nut at the very top middle of the screen, that's your speedometer cable, and you need to take that off before you continue on with this, because it does hold the instrument cluster back towards the firewall if you don't have everything connected right. So you just reach your hand up there and you just unscrew it normally. It's easy to get off. It's just right behind the speedometer. And also something that you can do while you're in here, if you can see those green and black wires, if you have room, you can go ahead and pull out that connector, and that will make sure that the radio doesn't have anything else holding it in, unless somebody added an extra ground or something. So I found what was hanging up this side. You see that little bracket that's shining in the light right now? It was getting stuck on this, on the nut right there. So I was able to gently push the dash up a little bit in the middle. Mine's already cracked, so I wasn't really too worried about it. It didn't do any more damage or anything. And I was able to get that free. Ooh, those gauges are rusty back there. So you can see my speedometer's hanging out on its own over there. And Now, the only thing that's stuck is the tachometer side. It was a pain in the butt, but I got it out. So it looks like they added this little ear over here and then bolted the dash and the tachometer to it. So I'm going to start trying to pull this out. Ooh, that's heavy. Put that radio on there. Okay. So it looks like it'll come out, but I'm going to need both hands, so sorry guys. Part of the way out, you're going to want to pull these wires through. This cable is so thick that it will get stuck in there. Then you can take a little bit of a better look after that and see what's going on. Okay, so I should be able to get it out now. Okay, not the best camera position, but better than nothing. Okay, so I feel something stuck. Let me see if I can figure out what it is. Looks like the flasher relay. I'm gonna take that off. Okay, so I took my flasher relay out. Let's see. So we got some wires wrapped around in there somewhere. Let's check the phone and see if we can find them with the camera. Okay, so there's where I took the flasher relay out just now. Okay, so it looks like we're stuck there. Let me grab from more of the bottom. Okay, so another thing you need to disconnect is the radio power plug here. It just comes right out of the back of the radio. It's attached to the main part of the body instead of the wiring loom, it appears. So I'm sure I'm going to find a few more of those things, so I'm keeping my eye out for them. But it looks like we're getting snagged closer to the bottom. Another thing to check, which wasn't snagged on mine, but it might be on yours, is this is part of the dash, not the instrument cluster. And this wire might get wrapped around behind that. So check this main wiring loom all the way around, because it likes to get hung on things. Okay, so what was stuck for me was the flasher mount for the flasher relay. It was getting hung on the heater down there. I think I may have bent it a little bit. I don't think that'll be a problem with the non-AC GTs. I really should have pulled this console out. It's just a pain to pull these AC ones out, so I didn't do it. If I would have done that, I don't think I would have had any trouble getting this out. So let me pull out so you can see where I am. So these two plugs right here. So I already unplugged my battery because I knew I'd be dealing with these. I'll put that note in the beginning of the video too. But you need to unscrew these guys, and man, those are corroded. I'll probably get a lot more power after I do this. So you can see it's a really large candy cane wire, red and white, and then another large red wire. So we're gonna have to disconnect those. Small wrench, it looks like. And again, please make sure that your battery is out right now, because these things you're not going to die from, grounding these out. I've been shocked a lot of times with car batteries and stuff, but you could start a fire in here with these other wires possibly, so it's not worth the risk. I think that we are home free after this one. I don't see a ground on the back of the radio. Are going to disconnect the antenna, it looks like. Yeah, I'll disconnect the antenna wire on the back of the radio. That's going to need to come out right there. See, it's already broken. So pull it out. Okay, so there's our antenna wire removed. So the radio is free, and I think all we need to do is get these 2 ammeter bolts out right here. So I guessed an 8mm, and I was correct. So I'll loosen those 2 screws, or nuts, sorry. Let's see. Ooh, I'm gonna have so much more power after I clean those. It's got to be a really good amount of resistance. The Green Death from brass and copper corrosion. Oh, almost dropped it. Okay, and let's also remember the candy cane wire goes on the left when you're facing it this way. So candy cane wire and solid red wire. So that should keep us wired in there correctly. So I'm going to see if I can pull this dash out all the way now. Make sure everything's free. See, my flasher relay is broken. That's one of the reasons I was fixing this too. I've got a lot of broken parts on this dash. So I'm gonna pull it out the rest of the way now because it looks like it's completely free. So let's see if we can get this on camera. And there she is. Set it down right here and clear off my workbench. And there we have it. A very nice, but slightly destroyed 1970 gauge cluster. So the year on my speedometer is 12/1969. So now we'll be doing a lot of troubleshooting, fixing some wiring in here, and trying to fix all the broken mounts. I think that this is bent out of shape. Let me look at it. Okay, so this needs to be bent like that. So this got bent. Okay, that's more like it. We got a lot of work to do. Nice Delco radio. Kinzel clock, I'll be repairing that too. And these got rusty, look at that. Corrosion. Wonder what happened. Anyway, we got our work cut out for us, so I'll see you on the next part of the video.